It's a Thursday and there's rain in the forecast. Not changing my plans. I mean, it's not the type of weather system that's going to bring a ton of rain. If anything, the rain will be mainly restricted north of Point Arena. It's going to be from basically I-80, which is farther south, but 80 north is where the best chance of showers are. So Santa Rosa northward, and the showers would be light at best. So I wouldn't change my plans on this. Just know that today, pretty cool. Tomorrow's the coolest day, Friday. And then temperatures that's what everybody will notice, cooler, highs in the low 70s. But that chance of a sprinkle does exist. But the reason I'm not sweating it is these guys down here, these subtropical storms, that's where the moisture is. This is extra tropical. That doesn't really happen much in August. That's what's unusual about this pattern. This is coming from the Aleutians. That system is cold core. These systems are warm core, subtropical moisture. That's usually where we get rain in August, from the south, from subtropical moisture, from monsoonal flow, or from one of these tropical storms deteriorating, and then the flow getting caught up, or the moisture getting caught up in the flow and coming northward. So that's the difference. This system doesn't have a ton of moisture to work with. And when you don't have a ton of moisture to work with, you're dealing with a tenth of an inch of rain. It's a pretty dry storm, but what will be noticed by most is the coolness. So we'll go through the quick forecast, and then we'll come back, we'll loop back around, and we'll look at a couple models, and you'll see what we're looking at a little more in depth. So check out Redding at 71 degrees, Red Bluff at 75 degrees, Chico. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow, the coolest day of the week by far. Tuesday was the warmest day. Friday is going to be the coolest day, and then Saturday's going to start to warm up pretty quickly. So let's see what we got here. We can go this way. We don't want that. We want this guy. These are the forecast highs for Santa Rosa. This is for tomorrow, but very similar to what we're going to see today. So pleasant, great air quality. I'll tell you what, your CAL FIRE, this pattern is awesome because you've got cool air. The wind's a drag, especially on the east side of the Sierra. We'll get into that too. There's going to be a little bit of wind out there, but in terms of the Park Fire, in terms of the Boise Fire, in terms of any mop-up work they're doing, this is very helpful. So tomorrow, San Rafael 79, San Jose 73 degrees. And then there's the 5-day forecast. So what I would notice here is tomorrow, the coolest day, that 80 is the hot spot. That's Stockton, let's say, or Modesto. And then you warm a little on Saturday. Saturday's going to be money. And then Sunday, back to typical temperatures. And then Monday and Tuesday above average, which is pretty typical. What happens this time of year, and happens often, is these high pressure centers or these low pressure centers kind of translate through, and then the high builds in behind it very rapidly and creates a warm up, a quick warm up. It also can create intense fire danger in the fall. When we get into September and October, this type of pattern can result in Diablo winds, offshore winds, kind of Coffee Park paradise kind of thing, late September and November, when the lows are strong enough and the highs are strong enough. But right now, that's not the case. Let's take a peek at this model. This is the GFS, and this is for preset. And we'll come in here. Well, I don't want that. I want this. We'll come in here and we'll go, this is Friday morning. So green, let's say green's going to represent your opportunity for rain. You see up around Mount Shasta, a little something. You see the moisture toggling through. This is Friday afternoon. Doesn't look too forbidding at all. Now, this is a model. Models aren't always right, but I would lean into this a little bit, especially the GFS, just because it does a pretty good job, and it has been doing a pretty good job. 12Z on Friday or Friday morning, or Saturday morning, pardon me, and you see some stuff up around Burning Man, and then gone. So that's the GFS. This is the North America model, and we can come in. And you see right here around Friday mid-morning, some moisture. Most of it's to the north. And then right there, Friday, that's Friday afternoon. And then Friday evening. So that's more, you see it has more aerial coverage. So it'll be interesting to see how this develops. The models are kind of flip-flopping all over the place, and they're doing it, I think, because, again, not typical to have this pattern. So they're because models take into consideration climatology. And so they're trying to have all these inputs from climate, but the climatology says, oh, that's not supposed to be there, this extra tropical low. So the models get a little spun out. This is the wind. Now, are you going to Burning Man? I'm not. But if you are, You know, you can have some wind on Friday. Breezy conditions, gusts down on the playa down to about 35 miles an hour. This is the upper level winds. These are the winds on the about 6,000 feet. Or let me see where we're at. We're at 700 millibars. So yeah, we're up around 7,000 feet, something like that. So it's the ridge lines. So the dark greens and the browns are where the wind is the strongest. This is Thursday morning. And then this is, see the greens? Can you pick out, let's see if I can dig this up. This is about where Burning Man is, right at the tip of that arrow. Those browns representing some gusts up to about 50 miles an hour on the ridge lines on the west side of that area. And then we'll push forward and we'll see what the winds do. And they really crank up. See that high elevation wind? That is Friday morning. Pretty windy, 30 miles an hour, something like that out in the playa. So Friday looks pretty windy, and then the winds sort of back down a bunch after that. So Friday's your windy day. And in terms of rain for Burning Man, not, you know, maybe a few sprinkles, but you're on the dry side of this. It's not subtropical moisture, so it's not going to be thunderstorms as much. There could be, but generally you're going to have a rain shadow effect on the hill. So on the east side of the Sierra Nevada, you're going to see, if you'd be lucky to get a few sprinkles. Air quality's loving this right now. Look at the air quality around the Bay Area and around the state. This pattern, which we have been talking about, is a great pattern. CAL FIRE's getting away with all sorts of, just clean up, mop up, whatever they're doing on the fire. So not going to rain this weekend. I mean, it could sprinkle, but I don't want you to change your plans. If something comes up, I'll update the model, but I think you're going to be fine unless you're north of Santa Rosa. Okay, there's your 5-day, or there's your forecast. I might see you tomorrow. I think I might go see Dad tomorrow, so maybe I won't be back.